Today, the jury found former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin guilty of second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter in the death of George Floyd. The most serious charge could carry a maximum of 40 years in prison. The announcement sent waves of emotion throughout the Twin Cities, from the crowd outside of the Hennepin County Government Center to the corner where George Floyd took his last breath. We have team coverage of this historic verdict in a trial watched by millions around the world. We begin with WCCO's Jennifer Mayerle with what happened inside the courtroom and what prosecutors have to say about their victory. Jen?
Well, it took the jurors 10 hours to decide the fate of Derek Chauvin while holding the collective weight of the country in their hands. Just after 4 o'clock today, the jury delivered a unanimous verdict, guilty on all counts in the murder of George Floyd.
We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty.
The judge would repeat guilty twice more. A pool reporter in the courtroom noted none of the jurors had any visible reaction as the judge read their verdict. Derek Chauvin found guilty on all counts in the murder of George Floyd. He was taken out of court in handcuffs.
I would not call today's verdict justice, however, because justice implies true restoration. But it is accountability, which is the first step towards justice.
The state's team carefully built their case over the course of 45 witnesses in 14 days. Police officers testified against their own, including the Minneapolis police chief, saying Chauvin's actions did not follow policy and was excessive. Use of force and medical experts, all saying Floyd would be alive today if not for Chauvin's knee on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Pro bono members of the prosecution reflected on being part of this historic case.
I'm honored to have stood with the Floyd family, to stood with the state of Minnesota as we go through this painful process together.
Now, no verdict can bring George Perry Floyd back to us. But this verdict does give a message to his family that he was somebody, that his life mattered, that all of our lives matter.
And that leads to a call for justice that Attorney General Keith Ellison and lead prosecutor in the case says is now in the hands of this nation.
We need true justice. That's not one case. That is a social transformation that says that nobody's beneath the law and no one is above it.
And tonight, Derek Chauvin is in prison in Oak Park Heights. Now, many remarked wondering what was written on Chauvin's left hand. It could be seen dark marks while he was being taken into custody. We are looking into that. And we reached out to defense attorney Eric Nelson. At this hour, we have not received a response. So what's next? Sentencing. Jason DeRusha will be looking at that process ahead. Frank?
All right, Jen, thank you.